All right. So thanks for getting on this morning, you guys. It's so nice to see all of your faces. So you're going to hear from Brittany, Andrea, and myself, and I'm going to go first because I have the note cards. Just kidding. Just know, though, that this call is not something that we would do for just, it's not going to be one of our regular team calls because it's not for everybody to hear. You guys have been in this group now where you specifically have committed to building your business, wanting to run at this, and we're in week 3 and you guys are still here. So you guys get to hear this and you guys are hopefully ready for some of these things that we have to say. And Brittany and Andrew and I have talked a lot about this over this week, just kind of messaging back and forth, things we wish we knew, what we feel like it takes to do this job. So we're going to try and cover that. When I was writing my notes, one thing I noticed that I don't really have anything down on here when I was thinking about what it takes to be successful with this, that is talking about a lot of specifics or as far as coaching, like the tracker and stuff. It didn't make my list. I'll talk about it a little bit, but there's other things that I want you to think about today. So first of all, when you signed up, you became a CEO. When you decided that you weren't using this just for the discount, you are the CEO of a business. And I want you to think about, do you act like a CEO? Do you act like a CEO more times than you don't? Because I know even CEOs take a day off of work here and there, but do you act like one more times than you don't? Are you moving your business forward like a CEO or not? Because there's no middle ground. You are moving it forward or you aren't. So are you taking action? Do you get your own results? Okay, like you are a walking billboard. If you don't have results, I don't know why anybody would choose to follow you. That doesn't mean you need to have perfect ones right now, but you need to be working towards them and showing how committed you are, showing what's changed for you, some kind of result. Do you wait for your upline to run groups and think that you can't? Then you're not acting like a CEO, right? If you have a thought, have a group idea, run one. A CEO would run a group no matter what. And I can think back to when I first started and I ran a couple of my own groups. And one of the things was I worried that they were too small, whatever. But know that those people are getting a great value from having such a small group because it won't always be like that. But go find someone. I creeped Brittany on Instagram and then I messaged her and I said, do you want to run a group? And we laid the groundwork of, hey, let's try this for a month, but we have to be super open and honest. If this isn't working for you or me or for our people, we can't be worried about hurt feelings here. We need to be able to say that. And so, take that caution when you go and do that if you take that route. But also know you're a CEO. You can run the group yourself. It doesn't matter if there's only a couple people in it to start with, because when you make that shift to, damn right, I'm a CEO, I'm going to run that group, you will know exactly what you're inviting to. You'll be super confident in the fact that when you say you're inviting to a group, that it's your group and not someone else's. For me, when I was still inviting people to Andrea's group, I always still kind of had that energy behind it of, this is, I don't want to say the word fake, but I can't think of a different word, like almost not totally real, because then I'm going to put you in her group where she's the leader and I'm not going to put you in one of mine. And so guess what I found out? My people didn't show up there. Not one of them. I don't think one of them posted a sweaty selfie in Andrea's group. And so I knew I had to jump. So that's my next thing. Jump. Jump before you are ready. Don't ask, just jump. If you're like me, I ask afterwards if there was a better way to do that. So when I decided, I decided the day that I was going to do this and not just for the discount anymore, I'd already creeped around for 3 years on the team page because I was the discount coach. So I knew you're supposed to sign your spouse up. So I didn't ask. I took that moment of bravery and I signed him up. I didn't get SC points and I paid the coach fee. I did it all wrong, but it didn't matter because I took that brave moment and I acted on it and I jumped and now I'm committed. And I asked afterwards, so now my customers can be signed up without having to pay those fees. But jump. If you have an idea, don't go and ask somebody else. Again, a CEO would not go and ask for permission or ask somebody else and say, what do you think about this? It's like you're waiting for someone to talk you out of it. go and do it. Like, there are no rules to this business. There's no rules to what groups you can run. I was just listening to Melanie Mitchell's podcast yesterday, and she's like, yeah, Facebook groups are where it's at. I love talking about her boys are baseball players, and she's like, I'm in this baseball moms group, not in there to sell things, but I figured out a system to be able to wash their white baseball pant. Like, go run a group. If it speaks to you, if it's your jam, if fashion's your thing, if whatever crock pot meals are your thing, I don't know, go run a group, try it. And guess what? Some of those groups are going to flop because it's just your first attempt, right? I have a banner in my classroom: failure is my first attempt in learning. And it's only a failure if you didn't bother to learn anything from it. I think back to Brittany and I, we ran our first account, or we wanted to do a retreat. Actually, I wanted to do a retreat. I went to Andrea's retreat 2 Februaries ago, and I came home. Brittany couldn't come because there was this gigantic snowstorm. I probably shouldn't have been there either. I don't know if any of us should have, but we all lived. It's fine. And I said, Brittany, we got to do this. Like, we have to, like, everybody needs this. Everybody needs to feel this. Our first retreat, you guys, I look back at it now and I'm like, that was a nice day. Like, okay, it was a day long. We did the best we could. It ended up being super weird. Our people didn't come. We ended up opening it to the public. Like, someone I've never seen since came. But our second one, and some of you guys were at it, was amazing. And it was overnight, and we changed things. And I mean, we learned so much from just that one day. So you need to do the things that you have ideas about, and you know what they are. You've been thinking about them. You know you put it off because you're not sure about it. Those are the things you need to go and do, because when people sign up for Beachbody, that's the value that you're giving them and not someone else, is this extra stuff. And they came to you because they're like you. Okay, do your goals match the actions that you're taking? A lot of us in here, we talked about, we have huge goals. We want to quit our jobs someday. We want this. We want to be able to travel from this business. Like, those are massive goals. So pause and think, are you taking massive action? Like, do you understand? I'm going to be honest. So I have goals of quitting my job. I want this to be my last year of teaching. I've talked this through with my husband. And I will tell you that leading up to this point, there was no date for that for me. And so my action was great. And I was probably more obsessed than a lot of other people, but it wasn't quit your job type of action. Not, and make the same income that I was making and maybe more. No, it wasn't. Like, if you get real with yourself, and I'll tell you, the tracker, I don't skip the tracker pretty much ever, almost 7 days a week. But quitting your job type action is not just the minimum of doing the tracker Monday through Friday with the bare minimum that it says on there. It's not. So I want you to think about those goals. And if you don't have huge goals, that's fine too. You can have any pace you want at this, but when we're talking about those types of things, like, can I quit my job? Yeah, but I'll tell you right now, I was hitting Success Club in the very beginning every month, and my paychecks, there were weeks where there was nothing in them. One time I can remember somebody made a return that week and I went negative dollars. Like, you have to be able to realize that this is not a get rich quick scheme, but that there is massive amounts of possibilities as far as financial freedom with this job. But it's not going to happen if you only stick it out to try it out for a few months. That's just not how it works. And now I'm just over 2 years into it. Now, by doing that as consistently as often as I could, the tracker and all those actions, yeah, now I see a compounded effect with that. So does Andrea 5 years in. So, I mean, you have to give yourself enough time while being consistent to reap those benefits. So if you take a month off here and there because you get busy and life throws some busy curves at you, well, you've made a hole in your line of consistency that's going to show up in your finances and everything else, right? So a different call would be in times of uncertainty, in times of, like, I'm going back to school and it's going to get crazy or busy, I'm not going to have all this time freedom like I do as a teacher on a summer break. I I've been writing my posts, not willy-nilly, but on the daily, whatever inspires me or whatever. That's not going to fly when I go back to teaching. And if I try to do that, I already know that excuses will get in the way and I'm going to miss days and I'm not going to have posts up. And then I'm not going to have people to invite. And then I'm not going to see I'm not going to add the people that I want to be able to add. So plan ahead. Okay, I have two more things. Belief. Do you have a belief in yourself that you know this can happen for you? And this can be hard because I'll tell you, when I first told my husband about this, it's not like he was never not supportive, but I'm going to say he wasn't really supportive either. It was kind of neutral, like doesn't see it, doesn't understand this. Now he gets it, like a lot more. For them, you have to bring home proof. You have to show them, look at what this person did. I just helped her get these results in 3 weeks. Look at this paycheck. Look at this, look at that. But do you have belief in yourself? When I first started, all the personal development, like I needed Grant Cardone books, Be Obsessed or Be Average, 10X Rule. I needed The Slight Edge, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I needed those intense, like, go get them books, podcasts that were Beachbody specific or Angie Lee. Like I devoured those things. Now I'm at a point in my business where I already kind of am ingrained in that. So now I need more personal development, like Gabrielle Berenstein, The Universe Has Your Back, like some calmer, more belief type things. So figure out what you need for PD. But I'll tell you right now, to get more belief in yourself, take more action. Because I didn't speak on my stories for 6 months. You guys know that for 6 months that I was a coaching, I would not speak on my stories. And now here I am, like giving you guys this pep talk. It's like literally my favorite thing to do. So figure out what those things that scare you and take action on them, because once you do it, it's just like your challengers. They don't think they can work out. They don't think they can be fit and healthy, but then they finish a program in their living room and they're like, holy shit, I just did that. And then they get more confident. You will too. Take action and you're going to raise your belief. And then stay focused. You're in this business to help people. Like when I signed up, I thought, this is the magic secret that every mother who has ever birthed a human being baby, that's my niche, might not be yours, needs to know this. Like you're supposed to be the happiest you've ever been after having a baby. And I have like the baby blues and I don't recognize my body and I gained 50 pounds and this and that. And I'm so tired. I can barely enjoy this time. And this let me enjoy that time. And I'm like, if I could just like, how cool would that be to help one other mom be able to feel that? That would be cool. Don't lose sight of that. Okay. This is not, how many I can, I'm selling challenge packs. I'm selling this. No, you need to switch that wording into, maybe that's one of your affirmations or your intentions. Like switch it from I sell challenge packs to I helped 3 women today. Like I helped human beings today. That's what we're here for, right? And back to if you're a CEO, CEOs don't say things like, oh, no one's biting this month. I just don't know what it is, but I can never find business builders, or I only find this, I can't find that. Be super careful about how you talk to yourself and things you say, because that's the energy that you're putting out there. It's the energy you're putting out there. If you feel like it's too expensive to sign up for the middle pack of 220, like that's energy you're going to put out there. So just be intentional about how you talk. And if you find yourself saying, oh yeah, I just can't do this, or I just can't find so-and-so, I dare you to switch that and make that one of your affirmations or intentions in the morning, but switch it to a positive. I find leaders every damn day. They attract to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like switch it. Okay. Switch it. And then this is super random. That was my last thought I had when I was writing these notes. Create before you consume. Get off of this call and go unfollow every single coach on here, because it will distract you. You will look at them and think, oh, I'm not doing it as good as her. That's what I do. I can't follow Andrea. I mean, sometimes I go creep on her once I have all my work done, but I can't follow her. She's such an elegant writer. I can't write like that. I don't have trauma to share like that. I don't have this. I don't have that. And then you're in your own head and you can't find your words. don't follow other coaches. Get off of that. I mean, there's times to go do it, but not before your work is done, not before you've created, right? So stay in that lane. Okay. Andrew, Brittany, what did I miss?
Brittany, do you want to go next or do you want me to go next?
You're muted. Wait, you're muted, Brittany.
I'm sorry, I'm new here. I was trying to say, I'll let you go. She's crossed off a lot of my notes. We'll see where we end up.
Okay, perfect. I was listening to Candace and it was making me write even more notes. So she did touch on a lot of things that I wanted to say, but I just want to, number one, say that so I'm not used to giving tough love. None of us really are. And I do want to preface this with, if you aren't 100% all in, wanting to leave your job to do this, like, that's okay. We are simply here to light a fire under the girls' butts who say they want to and are frustrated with why they can't and why they aren't at their goals, and just to share some realities with you. So I'm going to compare part of this with the fact that I own 2 other businesses that are not online businesses. And okay, I'm going to have to move because my husband is coming out here and I can't dish out this stuff with an audience. Hold on. We'll just pass each other in the night here. Okay. I'm going to go hide in my closet. It's not going to be good lighting. That's just going to have to work. Okay. So I got my Summit tags behind me here. So I own a store, right? You guys know that? So this is so incredibly important. If I thought, I'm gonna open Filio today, I'm gonna hopefully sell some clothes, and tomorrow if I'm just having an off day, I'm not really feeling it, I think I'll just stay home and I won't open the store. And maybe next month, I'm having a really good month, so I'll be open like for a solid month, and I'll make sure that my doors are open and I'm smiling, and I'll post on social media, some new outfits and things like that. But then the next month things get busy. And I don't have time. I don't have the energy to open my store. People are going to completely lose trust in my business. You guys, this literally happens with brick and mortar stores. It happened in Lake City. There was a boutique there that I tried to go to multiple times, and every time I went, there were different hours on the door. And every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back. I know what the hours are, so I'm going to come back and make sure that it's during those times. And yet again, it would be closed. I didn't try ever again because I'm like, this is so hit or miss. I can't even get in the store because I don't know when she's open. And she ended up closing, like she's not there anymore. But you guys, that literally is what so many network marketing people do. They get on the new latest thing. They post hit or miss every once in a while. They'll post really a lot for a while, and then you won't see them. Like, they don't post anything, not even like hardly anything about their regular life and their dog and their kids. Like, they just ghost. And if I truly want Filio to be successful, I'm going to open every damn day. I'm going to be open consistently 10 to 6. Like, it's not a like, oh, I don't really feel like it today. I'm running a business and I want it to be successful, so I'm going to be open. You can't assume that you can just post when you feel like it, or like, this is a freaking job. And if you want it to be your only job or to be your main job, like, you have to treat it that way. You can't just not because you don't feel like it. So you have to have that mental strength. Like, if you're having a bad day, do you have tools in your toolbox so that you can pull yourself together, to regroup, to figure it out? Because I can't even remember what Candace said. I should have written it down, but like, you have to have that CEO mindset. You just have to, if you want to make it like big in this business. If you want to post every once in a while and you want to kind of treat it as a hobby, 100% okay. But know that it's going to pay you like a hobby, and then don't get frustrated when you're like, why do I see Andrea's paychecks when she posts how much she makes in a month? Like, how come I'm not there? I want to make that kind of money. Well, you're not treating your business the way that other people treat their business. And I think that's the next thing that I want to talk about, is just time. You guys, I've been at this for 5 years, and I am just now reaching the point where it's almost matching my teaching income. Like, making $5,000 in a month is, you also have to factor in, like, that's not taxes taken out. Like, you have to take a third of that. And I'm pretty much matching my teaching income 5 years in. And I don't do this full time, you guys. You know that. I have 2 other businesses. I have one that is sucking every ounce of time out of me, building 4 apartments. Like, that is a full-time job in and of itself, more than a full-time job. And I'm continuing to grow this because of the consistency of opening every single freaking day. Do I have to push as hard as I did in year 1 and 2 and 3? No, because when you have a broken down car on the side of the road and you want to get it pushed to the gas station, that first few minutes of pushing your car takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot. If you're in your first 3 years of your business, you're going to be sending a ton of invites. You're going to be making like feel like you're making lots of mistakes because you're in the beginning, but they aren't mistakes. Like Candace said, like, they're learning opportunities. They're moments for you to grow. Those first 3 years, you're figuring it out. Guys, if this is truly something you want to do and you want to be a CEO, do you think a CEO sits down and thinks like, oh, I'll give this a try? No, they've invested $100,000 of their own savings to start a business, whatever that business is. And they're like, I'm in this. Like, I am going to see this through. I'm not just going to see if this works for a year. When I started, those first 6 months that I was in my trial mode with my husband, where he's like, you can have 6 months to do whatever you want. You just can't be the crazy lady on Facebook selling stuff all the time. Like, my mindset was like, okay, I'll give this 6 months. Once we had that sit down conversation where he's like, I think you should leave the classroom and do this, I was all in. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm in it. Like, I'm not leaving coaching. And I've had that mindset and mentality the entire time because I knew what was possible. I would never be at this point financially in my business if I didn't have that mindset. Like, I've never thought, oh, we'll try this for another year. Like, I'm going to be here in a year. No, I'm here. I'm here. And I knew the finances would come. I knew the rank advancements would come. And am I at where I want to be? No, but I know I'm not quitting. So I know those other things will come with time and consistency. So just look yourself in the mirror. If you're truly somebody who wants to, lower the amount of time you have at your current full-time job or leave your full-time job altogether, really look yourself in the eye and ask yourself if you believe that it's possible, and are you willing to be in this until it happens? And if it isn't happening fast enough for you, are you putting in the action to get there fast enough, like Candace was talking about? So I'm like shaking because I'm not used to giving tough love, but that's the reality of it, peeps. That's the reality.
And Brady's like, was that really that tough? Are you being that tough with us? I'm just kidding.
Really? That's all you got? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So I remember when I first started coaching, I remember Andrea saying this isn't something that happens overnight. This is something that you're building for years at a time. So I do know as a newer coach, it can be intimidating because you're not seeing these numbers. You have that for some reason. I think everybody thinks this, but we think we can just go nail some awesome post and we're going to have 50 people reach out to us and tell us I want to join you. I am ready to join you. This is my day. You guys, it doesn't happen. I have so many, we used to have these things called super weekends. Someday we'll have one again in person, I think, but so many coaches have sat on stage and said, you guys, it doesn't happen. I'm a blah, blah, blah star diamond, and that's not the way it works. It all happens behind the scenes. So you go and make those posts, you're just letting people know that you're open for business. Everything else is going on behind the scenes. So when you put up a post and you don't have anyone reach out to you, that is okay, and that is 100% normal. When you have the same 50 people liking your post, but those 2 to 3 people, maybe 5 people that are new, those are the people that you're inviting. It's not like you're going to have a ton of new connections every time you post. It's not the way it works. It's just it's a compound thing, right? So it's being consistent. It's inviting those random people who are new to your posts, who are new to your stories, things like that. And I just think that's really important to keep in mind, because not everyone's going to sign up. Not every conversation you have is going to lead to a sale, but maybe it'll lead to a new connection or a friendship, because that's what we're here to do too. You're here to make new connections and make friendships, and that's what it's about, because you're here to serve people. And just remember, that's where your heart is too. And when you're giving to people more, it's all going to come back to you. So keep that in mind. I think the biggest thing is, we've talked about it 100 times, I feel like, but are your actions equaling what your goals are? If you're just doing a power hour, getting in a power hour here and there, it's not going to leave your job. This isn't a get rich quick. It's just like your results. You didn't get your results overnight. You're not going to get results in your business overnight either. So keep that in mind. And then with your vital behaviors, sure, having an email list and all these other crazy things, or doing newsletters and things like that. But if you're not getting your vital behaviors done on the regular, don't worry about those extras, because every successful person in this business will tell you that it really comes down to your vital behaviors, and sending out a newsletter isn't going to be where you're missing your people. Don't get me wrong, it's a great way to reconnect with them and touch base with them, but that's not your vital behavior. So just keep that in mind with the daily tasks that you're doing too. So I think that's what I got.
I just want to piggyback on that. So my first year of coaching, I was also teaching full time, and then I left the classroom and I was only coaching. I didn't have any other businesses. First of all, that was my lowest income year out of all of my years, was the time that I was only coaching and I didn't have other things on my plate. It was almost as if I had too much time, because coaching does not take 10 hours a day. It takes a few hours a day consistently. And so I was spinning my wheels, and I thought, I'm just looking for that magic bullet. Maybe I need the best coach onboarding email system. Maybe I need newsletters. Maybe I dove into, how do I use MailChimp? I wasted so much time on all of the fancy things. And you guys, I'm not knocking newsletters. I'm not knocking coach onboarding emails. Those are all great things, but I could have moved my business forward with more vitals. Like I could have tripled, quadrupled down on the invites and like helping my current challengers get even better results. I could have exploded my business, but instead I went backwards because I was looking for the next shiny thing to like make me feel like a CEO, make me look like a CEO with a fancy newsletter. Um, and I could have been using my time so much better. So it's not sexy. It's not sparkly. It's literally just helping people and connecting with people. And when you're having a crap day, getting your mental fortitude back in, like you have to control how you talk to yourself. I think that and being consistent with your business, those two are king, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just thought of one more thing. The one thing that's different for me from the first year is like I will reach out to Brittany and Andrea. I will reach out to some of you know Mariah, our energy healer. I go to her once a month, but I seek out and ask for help because in conversation, Andrea and Brittany will instantly say, "Whoa, let's be careful how we're talking. Like that's not true, or quit saying that. That's hard, or that part's hard," because that's all that our brains are going to go and look to confirm everything that we say. So if we're saying it on the negative end, they will go and give you evidence that that's true. Like it is, I've read a book, it's how the brain works. But the good thing is you can switch it and tell it all the good things, and it's going to go find those too. But having that circle around you and seek those people out. Like I said before, Brittany and Andrea, those weren't accidents. Like I sought them out, you know, like I was attracted to, not in a weird way, attracted to them. So I went, so you just go follow those things. That's like the universe letting you know that those people need to be in your life. Like, why would I have ever gone to an intuitive energy healer? That's bananas. But I go because that was a nudge of like, oh, let's check that out. And it's been life changing. Like, I'm not saying everyone needs to go do that, but you know those feelings and those people that you're like, oh, I want to be friends with them. Yeah, get them in your circle. Like, send them a scary message. Does anybody have comments, questions while we're on here? Otherwise, I'll post this for the rest of the girls.
I would love to hear people's reactions and be honest.
Yeah, me too. Like, even just the question of the goals matching actions. Like, how did you feel about that comment or just anything? I see Emily's unmuted. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, this was the call out I needed. And it's not even this, like, I knew it. And I remember sitting on the couch last night, like, I could be doing my inviting. I could be continuing to work on my tracker right now, but I chose to not let my actions meet my goals. And that's why I got up extra early this morning. But no, I love that you have periodically had these call out calls with love, of course. So thank you.
And I'm thinking like, okay, it's okay to be excited about your business because you all are excited for us. So we can do this. Like we got you got our backs, and we can do this. It's inspiring. So nice to hear. I don't take it as tough love. I take it as you care about us. You want us to be successful too.
Yeah, you guys are all just awesome, and I love these calls. And I mean, I don't really know what to say. It gets you thinking, and it makes you realize things that you've been missing. And I just feel like these last few weeks, last month when we did like our extra challenge, like it's just really helped me realize just different things in my life and in the business and stuff. So like, yeah, I just love these calls. So I appreciate you guys so much, because like, you know, there are people that have to do all this on their own and learn on their own, and which is amazing, but I would literally not be doing anything if it wasn't for you guys. So
I think that's one of the weird things about this job. Like if you work for somebody else, you have to go to work. Like you get fired if you don't. Well, treat this business like that too. Like, you're going to go to work. It's a job. Like, it's not when I feel like it. Now, that's if your goal is to have big things. If it's not, then like we said, that's totally fine too. But you need to get real with yourself as to how big you want this to be or not. Anybody else?
Yeah, me. Sorry, I am in the middle of working out, but also listening to this because I couldn't turn it off. I would absolutely love more of these. I feel like I'm just now, like a year and a half in, learning what it actually takes to coach and like not be a discount coach. And I think like for so long, I thought that the tracker was optional and like didn't take it seriously because I feel like that's what a lot of us did at first. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of turn for everyone, but I just enjoy hearing like the really real stuff of like, this is your goal, this is exactly what it's going to take. And so I love hearing that from you guys because it brings you kind of back down to earth for everything.
I don't think,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, just really quick, I don't think you're speaking out of turn for anybody. I think everyone in the beginning is fumbling through trying to figure out, okay, what is this? Like, I feel this nudge in my heart, like I know I need to be doing this. And so you're just kind of throwing things at the wall and you don't really have any like direction. I remember feeling that way in the beginning. And there is that moment where you're like, oh, there's an actual like organized way to build this business by following this tracker. So I don't think you're alone in that at all. And everyone has that moment and yours is happening right now, which is fine, or did recently when you were taking the tracker more seriously, and everybody has that kind of flip moment. So
Going off of what Alexa said, and Candace, you had mentioned this earlier about your posts, and with the school year coming and being crazy, I know that as a leader and a CEO and acknowledging that last school year, granted I had a wedding and master's and full-time teaching job like going on, I did not make it a priority to plan ahead for my posts, which like you said, it creates a trickle effect. It's a domino effect, and it really impacts how you can run your business. And so I have a couple weeks now, so I think I need to start, my action step is to start being more prepared and working ahead and being proactive rather than reactive.
Definitely, because it's so hard to me, energy is everything in this business. So there are times where like, if I was going to do my invites in the evening, but the day sucked the life out of me and I just know my energy is crap, it goes on the top of my list first thing in the morning because I have great energy in the morning, if you can't tell, because nobody has interrupted me. So I shift those things, but like you said, it's a trickle effect. So for me, it's always, I have to have 2 or 3 posts just there waiting, just on hold, like that they can just be posted anytime, because like you said, if you don't post, then you don't have people to invite, then you this, and then it looks like your store has been closed. So on the bare minimum, on those crazy days, I put up a story of some kind. I try to show up for myself and do a workout. Like I think Jen talked about that last week, like we still got to take care of our own selves. And then I make that post. And if I don't get to the other pieces that day, I don't get to them, but knowing that I can do that the next day, you know, like, and you can make it work because you still showed up to the public that you were like there, right? Maybe you didn't put in as much on that day, but you were there. Like you looked like you were there to them. I don't know if that makes sense.
And the benefit of running your business for longer than a year, and Candace mentioned this in other posts or other calls, your memories start popping up and you already have posts that you yourself wrote. So when you copy and paste yourself, it's not plagiarism. And it's still probably relevant. I do this quite often, especially in this season where I am literally working on this building project 8 to 10 hours a day. and I have to be a mom, and I have to order clothes for my store, and all the things. Like, I'll look in my memories from that day, and 3 years ago, I wrote this amazing post. I switched some of the words or the time, and boom, pop it with a new picture. I have content. So there is a benefit to running this business multiple years in a row. And that's also similar to it takes a lot of effort in the beginning to get your car rolling, but you only have to have a little bit of effort to keep it rolling all the way to the gas station. But if you let off that momentum and the car slows to a stop, you have to start all over again with pushing that car and getting the inertia to get it rolling again.
One thing I do is I keep a Google Doc of all my posts. So literally I scroll back and I think I have like 30 pages of posts. So when I have those days, like even yesterday when I went to work all day and I come home exhausted, I can look back and I'll scroll back and look and be like, okay, I posted one of these a couple years ago. And if it really sucked, because let's face it, in the beginning, we suck sometimes. So I'll delete it and go, God, I'm not using that again. Or if it was good, then like Andrea said, I'll reword it and use it. Then they're there when I don't have the time.
And let me just also add that I've been following Andrea for a long time now, and I've only recently been able to tell when she's already told one of her stories and I'm like, oh, she's using it again. I guarantee nobody else is able to do that, but like, we're years in. I mean, I was her challenger for 3 years and now coaching for over 2. So I've only recently in 5 years noticed that she does that. So nobody's going to know if you're worried about that. I've done the same thing. Yeah. The whole car analogy. Exactly. Like, don't let it get to the stop. Don't let your momentum get to stop. It's so hard. You can do it, but it's so much work to get it going again. All right. Anybody else? No? All right. I'll get this posted then for the people that couldn't be here. Thanks for showing up this morning, you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.